Recently, China announced an investigation into Intel. This follows previous investigations into Google and Nvidia. These investigations target US technology giants. Today, we'll focus on the significance of the Intel investigation. Intel, unlike other US tech giants, is fundamentally different. Intel is the only US company that can be self-sufficient in CPU production. While Intel's position isn't as strong as it once was, it remains the only US company capable of maximizing self-reliance across the entire industry chain. Other US tech giants have significant weaknesses. For example, Nvidia, a leader in computing power, and Apple, a dominant consumer electronics manufacturer, cannot produce their products entirely within the US. They rely on global supply chains. Only Intel, from design to testing to final production, can produce CPUs independently. This is the key difference between Intel and other US tech giants. China's sanctioning of Micron last year provides context. Following those sanctions, domestic memory chip manufacturers like Yangtze River Storage and Chongqing Storage saw substantial market share growth. This accelerated their rise. The Micron case suggests that China assesses its domestic capabilities before taking action. China likely ensured sufficient self-sufficiency in storage chips before sanctioning Micron. Sanctions without viable domestic alternatives are ineffective and can burden consumers. The Intel investigation doesn't necessarily mean domestic CPU breakthroughs are imminent. However, it's possible that domestic high-end chip development is nearing a breakthrough. Progress in the 5-nanometer process is likely within the next 2 or 3 years. The timing of the Intel investigation may be a strategic move. This investigation must be viewed within the context of the recent US-China trade war. The US imposed a 10% tariff on over $500 billion worth of Chinese goods. China's countermeasures, involving only $14 billion in goods, are disproportionate. China has also restricted rare earth element exports and investigated US high-tech companies. These measures are currently in a testing phase. While there have been discussions, no final decisions have been publicly announced. The Intel investigation is just that, an investigation. Its outcome depends on future negotiations. Sanctions would mark a more decisive escalation. Intel's role in the US high-tech sector is critical. If the US still possesses some genuinely strong high-tech capabilities, Intel represents them. Other US giants have vulnerabilities. Nvidia, despite its computing power leadership, has experienced setbacks. Apple, while dominant, relies heavily on global supply chains. Apple's manufacturing ultimately depends on China. The investigation's impact on Google in China will likely be limited, primarily affecting advertising and some software revenue. China's investigation of Google is less forceful than the EU's. Intel, however, is in a precarious position. Its performance has declined in recent years, struggling against AMD in CPUs, and its GPU division is even weaker. Intel faces significant financial losses. In the 2024 fiscal year, Intel reported a loss of $18.8 billion. The Chinese market is crucial for Intel, accounting for 29% of its total revenue, or $15 billion in 2024, representing a 4.6% increase. From the US perspective, this investigation could backfire on China. The US government has already been moving to decouple critical supply chains through the CHIPS Act, encouraging semiconductor manufacturing within the country. If China escalates actions against Intel, it will only push the US to accelerate these efforts, further reducing reliance on China's manufacturing ecosystem. Thank you for listening. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. Please comment respectfully. Avoid racist comment and inappropriate words. Let's have a productive discussion where everyone feels welcome to contribute.